Hey guys, it's Lauren from Contessa back with another Mentor Monday. If you are just starting to join us for Mentor Monday, I'll give you a little background on what it is that we do here. Mentor Monday is where we answer your resume, I saw someone from Resume Workshop join. We answer your career questions on Instagram Live every Monday. So your career questions can come to us via DMs through our Instagram page. You can send us an email, mentormonday@careercontessa.com, and we will answer your questions. Most of the time, it's going to be me answering your questions. My name is Lauren McGoodwin, and I'm the founder and CEO at Career Contessa. But we also are going to start bringing in some special guests to help answer some questions as well. So thank you to everyone who has submitted career questions for this Mentor Monday. I got a really interesting one that we haven't had before about bad bosses. And I'm sure those of you that are joining have actually experienced bad bosses before as well. So I will just get right into the questions. These are questions that have been submitted beforehand. If you want, you can also comment during this live, Instagram live in the comments, and let me know your questions and we'll answer them as well. Okay, moving on. So this person said, and I'm just reading from the computer here, I'm currently in a position where my previous manager was the best thing that ever happened to my career. She took another position in the company and her replacement might be the worst thing to happen in my career. If you guys have had a bad boss before, please give a thumbs up in the comments. I'm just so curious to know how many people have experienced this. She says he's unqualified and frankly not interested in what my team does or learning any of it. I am not alone in how I feel and I have already voiced my opinion to senior management, so they are aware that it's an issue and it's not working. But I would like to ask what you think is the best way to handle this while keeping my good reputation and continuing my career at this company. Keep voicing there is an issue or just live with it. How long do I wait until I just give up and start looking for a new job? So this is such a good question because as you can all see from the thumbs up, we all have probably experienced a bad boss before. So I'm just fixing that. We've all experienced a bad boss before, and what's really interesting about bad bosses is that they can really make or break your experience at a company, right? She was saying that her previous boss was the best boss that had ever happened to her, and a really great boss can help you be more engaged at work and do a better job at your work, and therefore your career at that company can thrive and all that great stuff. So when you have a bad boss, it matters a lot. And one of the things that I have noticed is that there are certain boss personality types. This one I would say is the ghost boss, right? They're there, but they don't really care what you're working on. When you try to get their attention, they've got better things to do. And sometimes ghost bosses, Ghost bosses, they walk the walk and they try to talk the talk, but they're just not really there. Like she said, he's just not present. He doesn't really care in what she's doing. And that can be really, really hard. So with ghost bosses, what I think they like is to be able to manage up. They like to make it seem like to the higher ups, they're doing a great job, but the guys, the boots on the ground, like you who are working there, are really frustrated with them. So here's the deal. Whether your manager is around or not around, the most important thing is for you to keep working hard right now and compensate by communicating a lot with your team on the status of projects and to keep things moving along. Because if you've already voiced to your upper management team that this guy is really not a great manager, I guarantee someone else has also voiced that. In fact, you even said in your question that other people agree with this. So instead of turning this into a dramatic thing right now, if this is a new manager, I would encourage you instead to focus on doing the work and keep communicating out loud the work that you're doing, the work that your team is doing, the impact that it's having. Lack of direction from a manager can be super frustrating, but it's a chance for you to excel and prove your ability, right? If you can prove how successful you are with a bad boss, then imagine how successful you would be in a great position, maybe being the boss or back together with a great boss. So I guess what I'm thinking is, take this as a learning opportunity to figure out what type of communication style does this boss need? Maybe the communication style that your other boss needed, it was so natural to you. So that way, that was one of the reasons why you guys got off to a really great start. Maybe this boss's communication style is just not exactly aligning with yours. So you have to kind of relearn. Maybe he likes things in bullet points. Maybe you need to send recap emails at the end of the week. One bad boss that just started, I don't want to say give up and start looking for a new job right away, especially because it sounds like you really love your company. So that's my quick advice: work hard, keep communicating a lot with your team on the status of your projects and keep moving things along. Send him recap emails at the end of every week, so it doesn't seem like you're doing something behind his back, and see if you can figure out the right or the way that he prefers for people to communicate. If you work hard and you keep doing that, and 9 months down the road, nothing has changed and it doesn't seem like it's changing, you're absolutely miserable, okay, then maybe you can start looking for a new job. But what I have found, and actually what I've heard from other people, is sometimes it's just getting over the hump of a change at the office. And I know you might not love this boss, and I'm not saying that one day you're going to, but sometimes you just have to work through these learning curves. And that experience that you learn from that will be really, really valuable no matter where you go next. And what I mean by that is, there are always going to be difficult people that you have to figure out how to learn to work with. So I know that's tough, but I hope that's helpful. Another person said, been there, done that, and your response is correct. Every ship will sink to its own bottom. It's true, and I know it's frustrating, but the companies that I've been at, when there's bad bosses, they're not unaware. Sometimes they can only work as quickly as they can work. It's actually very hard to fire people. Someone said that they have the best boss. Aren't you lucky? Cool, guys. I'm just looking at some of these responses. Okay, let's move on to our next career question that was also submitted via DM. And remember, you guys can always ask questions in the live chat here as well. Sorry, I'm like all awkward trying to fix that. Okay, so the next question is actually one that we get fairly often. She said, I'm a recent grad with a brand degree in a super broad field, communications and multimedia. I know what I don't want to do in my field based on my internships experience. How do I know what I do want to do? I mean, what roles would fit me better or what to apply to? So this is the classic case, and it doesn't matter if you're a recent grad or you've been working for a while. This is the classic case of, I've had all these internships, I graduated, I've quote unquote done everything right. I know what I don't want to do because these internships that I took which were in career fields that I thought I would love, I didn't enjoy. So now what do I do, right? And I always say that, especially for women, I think there's this really strong feeling of you don't lack ambition. Sometimes we lack direction, right? And that can be really, really frustrating. I mean, why do people love 5-year plans? Because it gives them some sort of control over where they're going next. And I bet one of the things that's the most frustrating for this person is that they don't have any control over where they want to go next because they don't really know where they want to go next. So that can be super, super hard. So whether you're a recent grad or you're currently working and you're having this moment where, you don't know what it is that you want to do next, the same rules apply. The only difference is maybe as a recent grad, you might have a little more free time right now because you're not currently working. But my first recommendation is we have a free worksheet on Career Contessa called How to Figure Out Your Next Career Move. So if you go to careercontessa.com and then click on resources, you'll see it's a free downloadable worksheet. And we ask you very, very specific questions about what type of job and industry and, team size. We get really specific about what are your career ideals. And the more you know about yourself, the more you can start to determine what types of companies would be a good fit for you, what types of job roles would be a good fit for you. And that is where the magic starts to happen, when you start to be able to say, okay, I didn't know where I wanted to go, but now I know where I'm going, and now you can spearhead all your energy to get to that direction. I'll just give you the quick story of me. I was working as an admin assistant for a university, had no idea what I wanted to do, was super miserable, but I figured out that I wanted to be a recruiter because the first advice I would have for this recent grad is just get a job. Work in customer service for an awesome company. So if you aren't sure what you want to do, find something where they do hire entry-level people, but make sure that you do it at an awesome company. So I used to work for Hulu before I was running Career Contessa. Hulu has an amazing customer service department. There are plenty of people that start in customer service. They're not totally sure what they want to do, and then they transfer into other departments. So for people who are like, I need to have real experience, but no one will give me a chance, there are plenty of jobs out there that will hire entry-level roles. Working for the Apple store, maybe that's not your idea of like fun for the rest of your life, but it's going to teach you amazing tech and customer service skills that then you can use to get into customer experience at another company, and then from there you can work your way up. I know what you're probably thinking is, I don't want to do any of those things. Well, here's the thing about careers. They are not easy to build. They take time to build, and the more experiences you have working for different companies and in different industries, the more you will learn about yourself and what you like and what you don't like, and you will be able to transfer and connect those dots to other jobs. Yes, you might be able to get a job at an amazing company as well. It all depends on where you're willing to start and how you're willing to work up. Working for startups can sometimes be a great place to start, because oftentimes when you work at a startup, you wear multiple hats, you have lots of different jobs. So my recommendation is fill out that worksheet and start learning a little bit more about what type of company and work environment you would prefer to be in. I think if you don't know what you want to do, it's always great to target a company first and then a job second. And if you are worried that no one's going to give you that experience because you're a recent grad or you have no background in it, figure out what skills gaps you have, and then how can you fill those. So if you want to work in communications for a company and you have no communications background, what skills are they looking for? Maybe you need to network with people at that company. Maybe you need to volunteer for some nonprofit in your area to be their communications person and create their press releases or something like that. What I often find is that when it comes to careers and the people who have amazing jobs and careers, they've built them. And that means they didn't just, pop up one day and knock on their door and say, here's an amazing career for you. They've worked for them, and they also kind of embrace this whole, your next move is your best move. So the person who's a recent grad who's having trouble, just go find a job somewhere. It's better to be engaging somewhere on something. And if I were you, if I could go back in time, instead of taking the admin assistant job at a university, I would have at least tried to find a company that I was interested in, whether it's their product, their service, their culture, their leadership, something like that. So there's a little bit of something more there than you don't really love your job and you don't really love the company. I would love to see anybody's tips in the audience. I'm just going through right now. If you guys have experienced this where you didn't know what you wanted to do and you were kind of lost, and then of course as a recent grad or someone who is going through a lot, you are saying, hey, no one will get me experience because they're looking for someone with experience. My other tip for recent grads is apply to any job that is looking for someone with 4 or less years of experience. The other tip I have for people who want to transition jobs where they don't have any experience, because I was in that boat too, is be ridiculously passionate about the industry and the company that you are applying to. Someone talked about assessments, Myers-Briggs or StrengthsFinder. We also have a new assessment that we talked about in Career Contessa called the Enneagram test. That sounds familiar. But assessments can be great places to kind of figure out your strengths as well and then transition that into a career. I think that if you don't know what you want to do, one of the best things you can do is start engaging. There's a quote that I love, and it's clarity comes from engagement. Start going to events, start having informational interviews with women in a variety of industries and fields, and take notes after them. Start figuring out what type of companies you want to work for, and target those and target their entry-level roles. Okay, a person said, I recently got hired at casino again in retail, but the pay is low hourly pay. I want to know, how can I get high hourly paying job on the side since I work on call or once a week? So for that, maybe having some sort of side hustle or some sort of remote job that's really flexible with the hours you make. You can always check out our jobs board on careercontessa.com. Every week we have remote job opportunities there. So that might be something that's really helpful for you, since if you have to work on call or once a week, since you work on call or once a week. Yeah. So if you're unavailable, then, something that is like a digital nomad, meaning you can do it from anywhere, might be really helpful. We actually had a post on Career Contessa that you might really like, and it was called 29 Side Hustles That Actually Work. So go ahead and check that out as well, because it sounds like to me what you're looking for is a way to make some extra money on the side. So we had a whole list on there, and we made sure not to just repeat all the ones that you've already seen online. So hopefully you find some good tips in there as well. Okay, guys, if there's no more questions for this week's Mentor Monday, I'll go ahead and sign off. My name is Lauren McGoodwin. I'm the founder and CEO at Career Contessa, and thanks for joining Mentor Monday. We'll be back next week. Remember that you can send your Mentor Monday questions, so any question you have about your career or whatnot, to mentormonday@careercontessa.com, or you can DM us on Instagram, and we always pick a couple to answer. Thanks again, guys. Oh, and just as an FYI, I'm going to start uploading the replays of these videos to our YouTube channel and to our Facebook page. So you can always watch the replays if you want after they expire after 24 hours on Instagram Live. Okay, thanks, guys. See you next week.